guys, and welcome to today's video. Hello you guys, and welcome to today's Hello you guys, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be eye swatches on the new Melt Cosmetics Mary Jane palette. I don't know about you guys, but I find eye swatches and lip swatches to be some of the most helpful videos on YouTube, and there is not near enough eyeshadow swatches on YouTube. The only two creators that I can find that really do them regularly is that girl Shay and Amy Loves Makeup, so I figured I would help out the fellow beauty world and do some eyeshadow swatches for you guys. This is actually my first ever Melt Cosmetics palette, and I did actually film part of this before, but I really just didn't understand the eyeshadow formula. It's a little bit different. I'm not sure what I think yet. I feel like I say that in every video, and that's because I try not to make a firm decision on something until I've given it a fair shot. If you haven't seen the inside of this palette yet, it is a Cool Tone Dream. I was really drawn to this because it has these khaki olive colors here, and then you have your regular cool tone colors, you know, your silvers and your metallic chrome shades. And then we have some neutral browns and then a couple different topper shades. So I did swatch this one and this one before on my eyes, and I'm kind of confused because, for starters, they are topper shades. I wouldn't say they are opaque, metallic, easy to just go across the lid and give you a one and done look there. You'll see when I actually eye swatch them. But they're actually kind of getting a hard pan. I'll give you a quick little... I have some on my finger there, but it's really not pulling a lot, and I don't know, that worries me a little bit. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in, and we're going to get started on this. Please don't mind this little guy right here. It is that time of the month, and my skin's breaking out. I decided to pick up my face before filming. Why would I do that? I know I'm a sweller. So we're going to enjoy this, and let's zoom you on in. I'm going to go ahead and pin my hair back so it's not all in my face driving us nuts. And I would like to apologize for my stuffy, annoying voice. I've been gone for a month because I've had strep throat. And then I just found out I have COVID, so that's fun. And on top of that, I think I have allergies, so I'm just one hot mess right now. Not a hot mess, but a mess. So real quick, I'm going to tell you how I'm actually going to apply everything. So for the base, I'm going to use the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly for every single shade. For the matte shades, I will be going in with a translucent powder just to set the lid down and make it so there's no gripping and weird spots. That way it doesn't look really patchy or anything. And I will be applying any of those matte shades with the Humble Cosmetics 101 Small Shading Brush. And if I do want to blend anything out, I will use this Flower Beauty brush. This one just comes in their eyeshadow kits, and I actually just really like it because it's dainty. For any of the metallic or shimmer shades, I will be applying it with my finger. I find that just works best when I'm trying to pick up products, especially with this one, because like I said, I feel like there is hard pan going on. I did try it with a brush last time, and it wasn't picking up. So I'm going to use my finger, which is fine. That's how I normally do it anyways. I did also try some of them with a wet brush, and in general, I just don't like a wet brush. It makes it look crackly and thick on the lid, and I really hate that. So sorry if you were looking for wet eyeshadow swatches, that's just not my thing. I will be using a finger. And I will not be setting the lid with those, that way they have something to kind of grip upon. Let me just give you a quick look. Like I said, I did dig into a couple of these. A few of these I haven't dug into at all. I'm actually not going to swatch these in order because I kind of want to see how some of these look next to each other. So for example, I'll be going in with this one against this one. That way we can see how they look on the eye. So I'm going to start with Mary Jane right here. I just went back and forth in the pan with that, and it's really not picking up a lot. So here is the shade Mary Jane. As you can see, it's kind of like a topper shade. There really is no base to it. So I think this would be really beautiful on top of those darker mattes. But on its own, it really isn't doing it for me, which is okay. I mean, you don't need every shimmer shade to be opaque. But anyways, there is a look at it. I would call this shade a green gold. And when I get to some of those darker mattes, I will put it on top. That way we can see what it looks like. For my other eye, I'm going to be going in with Cali. So for the shade Cali, while I was digging in, I kind of went in at a weird angle and it picked up a little crumbly on my hand, which actually makes me happy because then it makes me feel like this isn't going to be super hard pan, and I'm happy to actually see some color on there. I don't know if that makes any sense. But before, when I was trying to pick it up, nothing was coming off because it was so hard pan. Try going in with a little bit more. Again, on this side is Cali and on this side is Mary Jane. As you can see, Cali is a little bit more like silver champagne color, where this one definitely has that gold and green shift to it. Not shift, but tone. So for the next pairing, I'm going to be going in with Jasper, I don't know, and Sweet Lucy. So on this side, I'll be going in with Gaspar. So here is the shade Gaspar. I would definitely say it looks a little bit patchy. Honestly, I don't know an olive green that doesn't look patchy, but this one blended out really well, and I like how you can see kind of like that mustard tone right there, where it almost looks like you have two different shadows on. So I do really like it. It is a little bit patchy, like I said. Maybe I just didn't set my lid as well as I thought I did right here. I thought I did though, but you never know. Definitely could be human error. But I'd say it blended out pretty easy. I did have a little bit of fallout. I would call this shade a deep olive. It might not be like an obvious olive, but you can see that green in there, right? So next, I'm going to go in with Sweet Lucy. As you can see, this is like another olive color, but it almost is like an olive bronze. And I'm also not sure if you can tell, but it does look pretty chunky. And it was pretty chunky. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, because sometimes when things are chunky, it gives them more dimension to the eye. So that's definitely not an out in my book, but when I was applying this last time, it was very messy. So this would be one where if you're going to use it, I would say go in with your eye makeup first and then your foundation. So I'm going to pick this up on my finger and I'm going to press into the pan so that it really sticks to my finger. See, can you see how chunky that is? I don't know if you can see the chunks. I'm really trying to press this into the lid to get that gold fleck to show up. I'm trying to tap it off so I'm not getting as much fallout. You know what? I don't know why I didn't do it today, but I did use a glitter glue with it last time on one of my eyes, and that helped a lot and kind of made it a little bit more metallic on the lid. But as you can see, there's like quite a bit of fallout. Even though I'm like firmly pressing it and I'm trying not to get any of that fallout, but really not the end of the world. Definitely looks pretty messy. Don't expect all of these to be like blended out and perfect. I'm just trying to give you an idea, okay? I am actually going to apply a little bit of that glitter glue, and then maybe we'll do another little layer just because I want you to see it does have some good metallic sheen to it, but I think a glitter glue is necessary. So I'm not sure if you can see, it gave it more of that wet metallic look, a little less textured and a little bit more smooth. This is definitely not looking like the best because it needs to be blended out, but I'm trying not to ruin my whole makeup. Also, in between each of my swatches, I am going to be going in and cleaning off my brushes with a little color switch here. Okay, that looks like a mess, but you get the idea. I really did a number on that one. My bad. My bad. Can't get it to really like blend out here, but She's a goner. It's okay. So there is Sweet Lucy and then Gaspar. That's so bad. I'm sorry. And while I do have this darker shade on, I am going to go back in with Mary Jane, which was that greenish gold tone. That looks way cooler, right? Definitely a fun little topper shade, but probably not something I'd wear on its own. And just kind of as I'm playing more with these metallic shades, remember how I was also saying I was getting some hard pan in there? I really just kind of tried to dig in there and it's coming up. It's almost like a wet formula in a way to where it's, I don't know. I think that maybe that's why it's feeling like a hard pan, is because I'm like packing all this product on top of like a wet eyeshadow. So I'm kind of just digging it up a little bit, and that's helping a lot. I'm just putting that out there in case anyone else was having issues with hard pan. I'm finding that when I'm digging in there a little bit more, it's kind of crumbling up. That sounds bad. It's making it so it's like looser in the pan and not being a hard pan. I sound redundant. Here's the look now with Gaspar and Mary Jane on the lid. Before we start real quick, I just want to show you my little makeup wipe. It's very fitting for this palette, my Mary Jane Melt palette. For the next two, I'm going to go in with Bomba and Santa Maria. I feel like these ones look pretty similar, so I'm curious how they're going to translate on the eyes. First, I'm going to go in with Bomba. It definitely has a gunmetal look to it. So far, this one is a lot, I wouldn't say smooth. It's almost feeling like a satin eyeshadow. It looks kind of sooty, you know? I'm definitely getting those ashy vibes, which makes sense for this palette. This is based around like smoke and stuff. So I'm just cleaning this brush and I'm gonna try to blend it out a little bit. I just don't really know what this formula is. It's not really, it's blending, but it's taking a little bit of work. And I think that's because this does feel, again, like I said, wet a little bit creamy in the pan. Not bad, not bad. A little bit of fallout. I feel like this could use a little bit of a wet brush. Like I said, I don't love how a wet brush looks, but I'm going to do it for you guys because I'm sure there are many of you that like a wet brush. I think that did help, but the reason I don't love doing this is because then I get this weird like alligator looking crackle wherever I do it. Do you know what I mean? Have you guys ever done that and seen that little crackle? It does usually make stuff more metallic sometimes, but I just don't feel like the crackle look is worth it for me. And it kind of makes my eyelid feel a little bit tight. But anyways, there is that shade Bomba. Here is the shade Santa Maria. Looks a little bit more gray. They do look similar, but they're different enough, I think, to allow them to both be in the same palette. This one is a little bit more gray, where this one kind of has like this green, I wouldn't say khaki, but it's just a little dirtier looking, you know, a little more grungy, whereas this one kind of looks a little bit more industrial. Definitely messy palette. I don't think I have an eyeshadow palette that is this messy. I do really like this color though. It looks like it has like a blue and silver kind of sparkle. I wouldn't call these like really sparkly. They're almost like a mix between a shimmer and a satin. Not like what I'm used to for like shimmer formula or metallic formula. I wish there was either a little bit more metallic or a little bit more shimmer. I need to look and see what they actually call this formula because I can tell it's different from Sweet Lucy and different from like Mary Jane and Callie. There's a bunch of different kind of formulas going on. See how this looks with a wet brush. So yeah, it's helping, but I don't know. I don't know what I think. I do feel like these stick to the skin really well though, because wherever like I get fallout and stuff, it sticks. So I feel like these are probably pretty solid, but again, I'm new to this formula, so I don't really know. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But anyways, here are those two shades next to each other. On this side we have Bomba, and on this side we have Santa Maria. Next we're going in with Sensmilla and Rubia. I asked my husband if he knew any of these names. He works at a cannabis shop, and he didn't really understand what the references were other than like Cali and I think like Bomba. I don't know if those are like names of different strains of marijuana. So, but he didn't know what they were. So I tried to get a reference of like the actual pronunciation of these, and Melt hasn't released a video saying any of the names, at least not that I've seen. So hopefully I'm not butchering those too bad. So let's go in with Sensmilla. I'm gonna tap off my brush. I did set my lid, by the way, so hopefully I won't get any gripping. By the way, I am building these up, so don't think that they're not pigmented or anything. I think they are very pigmented. I'm just trying to get the least amount of fallout as I can. So I'm going in kind of gentle at first. And this one looks like it's not like patchy really or anything. It looks really good. Really nice and even. I'm going with my Flower Beauty brush just to blend this out. So far, I'm really liking how their mattes blend out. They like blend out very well, and then you can kind of see like the base color underneath, so it does look like you have more than one shadow on. I mean, that's with a lot of dark colors. If you blend them out, you'll see that kind of undertone they have when you blend them out. Ooh, I like that a lot. That looks really pretty. So there's the shade Sensmilla. Sensmilla. Make sure my brushes are nice and clean. So I didn't really describe this shade. I would call this a charcoal. It's not black. It's like a really dark brown. It kind of looks black though, because it is so dark and cool tone. I think it's a great like smoky shade. So again, I'm going in with Rubia, tapping my brush off. So here's that shade Rubia. I would call this a neutral medium to dark brown. And when you do blend it out, you see a little bit of warmth, but I would call that like a neutral, leaning cool tone shadow. By the way, if you have brown, green, or hazel eyes, I feel like this whole eyeshadow palette is very complementary to those tones and is really going to bring out your eyes. And blue eyes, of course, they pull off everything. Really great palette in terms of like the tones really complementing eyes. So here is a look. Again, this one's Sensmilla and this one is Rubia. Now we are on to our last two shades, which are Beau and Mari. First, I'm going to go in with Beau, looking like a very neutral bronze. Beautiful, beautiful neutral bronze. I am going to go ahead and wet a brush for that. So I'd say that intensified the shine a little bit, but nothing mind-blowing in terms of like how much better it makes it. I'm going to try to blend it out a little bit. So that is the shade Beau. Now on to Rubia. Really liking this color. It's neutral with some yellow in it. And when I say yellow though, it's not pulling warm really. It's very neutral. And it has like this, like a sandy kind of tan. Like what you would actually see with like khaki pants. I'm not sure if I have a lot of browns with this undertone to it. It's definitely kind of unique. It's really like pulling out like the green tone in my eye. I'm not sure if you can tell. I don't know. It's really pretty though. Perfect for like a transition shade for my skin tone. I'm definitely very pale. But there is the shade Mari. And again, the shade Bow. I forgot to do it with a darker color, but I am going to go in with the shade right here, Cali. And I do want to apply that as like a topper, just to see what it looks like. Okay, see, it's not really picking up. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can really see in there. Do you see how it kind of has that layer where it looks like it's hard pan? I'm kind of like digging it like this, and then I'm able to pick up a little bit more, I think. But I think if you're doing it in a motion like this, which is what I normally do, that's causing it to pack and making it like a hard pan. So definitely try doing it in different like directions and like digging at it a little bit, and then you're gonna get a little bit more pigment there. So just a heads up. And I'm like really pressing it in, so you're still seeing like I'm not getting like a ton of payoff there, but this is definitely adding some pretty shine. I need to actually like dig in there while I'm not holding it like that. Okay. I feel like I have a lot on, but let's see. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Add a little bit of brightness to both the eyes. But let me check my face real quick. I feel like this palette definitely has me looking like a mess, and I'm looking a little strange with my two different eyes. So let's kind of talk about this. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not familiar with this formula. I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. I'm a little unsure at this moment whether I like it or not. I feel like I like the mattes a lot. They were really great. The shimmers, there are like different formulas going on in here where some of them feel like they're like topper shades and some of them are a little bit more chunky than others. Specifically, I feel like Sweet Lucy is like a chunky metallic shade, and then Mary Jane and Cali feel more like toppers, whereas like the rest of these three are really feeling like a satin shimmer. They're not like overly metallic or anything, and they don't have like a ton of sparkle. So I don't know, I'm just kind of confused, and I feel like I need to actually use this in a look to see how they work, because a lot of these ones I'm not just gonna like throw on my lid and go. I mean, you should be able to, but I don't know how I'm feeling. I definitely wouldn't call it like a bust. It's just trying to learn the formula. And I have heard a lot of times that melt is like a formula you really have to work with. And I think for $60, I'm not sure if I want to work that hard for it because I'm lazy. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you tried Melt's formula? And if so, give me some pointers at how you work with it, because I'm just feeling kind of unsure right now. I feel like they really nailed it in undertone for these shadows. Like the undertones and the shades in here are absolutely beautiful. It's just the formula that I'm unsure of. So I'm thinking that I want to do a 3 looks 1 palette. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. I feel like I would do it where they're kind of like difference in tones. Like I would do like these kind of khaki colors. I would do like a smoky grungy, and then like a wearable kind of bronzy moment. So let me know if you'd be interested in a 3 looks 1 palette, and I could do that for you. Other than that, am I gonna say it again? Other than that, I think we are done with this video. If you liked it, please give this a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already, and I hope I will see you guys in my next video.
Ryan Little.